Donald Trump on Fox News, unreal interview, basically admitting almost everything. He says, yeah, I made the payments to Stormy Daniels. It was me. And Michael Cohen, his lawyer and fixer, flipped on him. What do you think about flipping? Now, hold on. What would you think about somebody who cooperated with law enforcement? I'd think he cooperated with law enforcement. If you like law enforcement, that makes sense. Now, if you're a criminal, you wouldn't like him at all. You'd call him a rat, you'd call him things like that. You say, I can't believe it. That's the mob guys, etc. They say, no, I can't believe it flipped. So now, if you haven't seen it yet, now it's great. We'll get to find out together which side is Donald Trump on. Let's watch.
One of the reasons I respect Paul Manafort so much is he went through that trial. You know, they make up stories. People make up stories. This whole thing about flipping, they call it. I know all about flipping. For 30, 40 years, I've been watching flippers. Everything's wonderful, and then they get 10 years in jail, and they flip on whoever the next highest one is, or as high as you can go. It almost ought to be outlawed. It's not fair. In all fairness to him, most people are going to do that. And I've seen it many times. I've had many friends involved in this stuff. It's called flipping, and it almost ought to be illegal. You get 10 years in jail, but if you say bad things about somebody, in other words, make up stories, if you don't know, make up stories, they just make up lies.
Wow. Cooperating with law enforcement ought to be illegal. Okay, look, I'll tell you this. You're still a MAGA guy, and you think, well, I mean, of course, you don't want the guy to, flip on you. Every prosecutor in the country right now is going, that guy's guilty. I don't care how Republican they are. I don't care if they have 7 MAGA hats in their closet. They watch that and go, oh, no, that guy's totally guilty, 100% guilty. Okay, I mean, you don't like these flippers, all right? I mean, we should be illegal to flip and to talk to law enforcement. What kind of a rat talks to law enforcement? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I've known these flippers for 30, 40 years. First of all, who says that? Okay, second of all, really? Do you know any flippers, guys? I mean, I don't know, maybe like somebody was involved in some sort of crime in your family or somebody you knew and they flipped. Maybe you know one, right? I don't know any. Maybe you know one. This guy's known flippers for 30, 40 years? Why? Maybe because, like I've been telling you all along, he's a lifelong criminal. No, I know these guys, they go and flip. They flip on people. Did you know that Donald Trump used the same lawyer as some of the top mob figures in New York? In fact, they used to provide concrete for him, okay? And he hired Roy Cohen, and it's the same mob lawyer that was used by so many others. Originally the Italian mob, and then later the Russian mob. So he knows these guys because he's been working with these guys. And by the way, I use the word rat. Now, is that fair? Because Trump didn't say rat in that video. Well, let's go to a tweet from earlier. He said, the failing New York Times wrote a fake piece today implying that because White House counsel Don McGahn was given hours of testimony to the special counsel, of course misspelled, he must be a John Dean type rat, but I allowed him and all others to testify, I didn't have to, etc. He refers to John Dean as a rat there. John Dean was the person who turned evidence on Richard Nixon, but the evidence he turned was correct. Richard Nixon left office in disgrace. No one disputes that John Dean told the truth. Even Nixon doesn't dispute it. He left, he resigned because they got him. But in Trump's mind, oh, what a rat. I can't believe he ratted on Nixon. I know these flippers and these rats, right? All right. Jonathan Chait in New York Magazine had a really good article about it. He explained how, even a Trump friend, by the way, last November said, referring to the Mueller investigation, it's an investigation is a classic Gambino-style roll-up, okay? And so what's the roll-up? We're gonna explain. Chait says it's obviously quite rare to hear a high-ranking elected official openly embrace the terminology and moral logic of the La Cosa Nostra. Okay, and that is the mob guys, they hate rats and they don't like people flipping. Why? Because they flip on them. So here's how the roll-up works. The roll-up moves from the bottom to the top. It would be extremely difficult to prosecute any organized crime if it were not possible to trade lenient sentences in return for cooperation. That's why I said every prosecutor in the country knows he's guilty, because that's prosecutor 101. You go in and you say, okay, you got a minor drug dealer. Hey, if you give me information on the guy that is the major drug dealer, I'll give you a more lenient sentence. That's how you get the major drug dealer, okay? In this case, they go to the minor criminals like Michael Cohen, et cetera, and they roll on the major criminals like Donald Trump. That's why Donald Trump doesn't like it. There's this great quote, one more from Chait, where he said, he explains why the mafia guys care about loyalty the most. He said, since the greatest threat to a mafia don's business is that subordinates will betray him, he typically surrounds himself with family members, even if they are not the smartest or best criminals. Oh, ding, 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 ding. Donald Trump to a T. You're wondering why he hires a bunch of incompetents like Rudy Giuliani and it's a murderer's row of fools and idiots. It's because he's not choosing based on merit, he's choosing based on loyalty. That's why he's so mad at Jeff Sessions for not being loyal, what he calls loyal to him. In another part of the interview, he explained that, where he said, oh yeah, I can't believe I chose this guy because he was one of the first to support me and then he wasn't loyal to me. He's not supposed to be loyal to you. He's the Attorney General, he's supposed to be loyal to the American citizens. He's supposed to be a lawyer for them, not a personal lawyer for the president. But since Donald Trump is a lifelong criminal who hates flippers and rats, the main thing he chooses on is loyalty. If you're loyal to me, that's all I care about. I don't care how incompetent you are or how you represent the American people. Don't be ridiculous. He acts just like a mafia boss, except an incredibly dumb one. Mob bosses don't go on television and go, I don't like rats. I don't like people who flip on me. I don't like it, okay? Yeah, did I make the payment? Yeah, I made the payment. But I hired this guy and he wasn't loyal to me. So I'm thinking about firing him now to cover up, you know what I'm saying? The world's dumbest mob boss. That's who Donald Trump is.
Like this video? That's great. And you never have to miss another episode of TYT by hitting the subscribe button below. And ring the bell to get notified whenever we publish a new video.